Well, first and foremost, it's not a legal regulation for the games. It's just a relationship that the Football League started in the 60s, where they thought that attendances would be diminished by games being broadcast at 3 o'clock. It's a watershed. It's not legality. Ronaldo, they've sold 500,000 shirts. That's how many shirts they've sold. Great, fantastic. The main beneficiary of that will be the shirt manufacturers, not necessarily Manchester United, because they've already done their deal with the shirt manufacturers. But the idea that we don't get to see Ronaldo, we'll see him on Match of the Day.
Yeah, but that's no, but that is crazy though, isn't it?
No,
all the build-up, all the hype.
No, hold on a second.
And we get to 3 o'clock, so you can't see him.
We can't sit here, right, on one hand and say player power's going out of hand, and then change a protocol that exists because one Herbert's rocking back to England to play games. Fantastic. He's a fantastic footballer. Everyone will look forward to seeing him. So what you're advocating, or what we might be advocating, is change the fixture list because Ronaldo's playing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. I'm surprised the broadcasters haven't put their flags up. Oh, hold on a second. We want to change the schedule of games.
Yeah.
We want to move it to 5 o'clock this game.
Tony, I'm quite sure that Ronaldo has never been described live on talkSPORT as one Herbert. But what's your take on this? What is your take on this, Tony? We're missing out. 180 countries will watch it live.
If I was to see one of the greats come back at Liverpool, and I was a Liverpool fan, I am a Liverpool fan, sorry, I want to see it immediately. I don't want to wait till 10 o'clock at night to see it. And I think many people were anticipating Ronaldo's performance to watch immediately. You'd wait until 10 at night. I wouldn't want to be doing that. Yeah. I'd have tried my hardest to get a ticket, first and foremost, which I imagine is like gold dust. But if it was available on TV, which is quite strange that we're in 2021, you can't reschedule something.
You don't even go and want to watch your own teammates play. You want to go and watch some fading old rock star. Now you want to... oh, hang on a second.
No,
I'm absolutely with Tony on this. It is unbelievable that you would suggest, and I know you're not being serious.
About what?
That we'll all just wait to see him on Match of the Day.
Okay.
No, you won't. It'll be all over social media and you'll find out exactly how he played very, very quickly.
Very
there
true.
is no way in God's earth that we should not be seeing this live if we choose to.
So what? Hang on, right. So again, what we're basically saying is we change the framework on the fly. I do believe that actually there's no need for a 3 o'clock watershed because originally when it was brought in, it was because they believed, Bob Lord I think was the architect of it at Burnley, believed that ultimately attendances would diminish with the advent of live football being put on and taking away from the 3 o'clock kickoff. That doesn't exist anymore because you can fill stadium over 10 times over.
Yeah.
So perhaps they should change that. But currently they haven't.
But they did.
So
they did during the pandemic.
They did it in an exceptional set of circumstances due to the pandemic, and they haven't changed the rules as a matter of course. They did it as an exceptional set of circumstances. So the argument should be, yes, we should change it, and the 3 o'clock watershed should no longer exist. Then what happens then is that these games will get broadcast at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and in Malaysia, where it's a big audience, they won't want to pay Sky or the Premier League, more importantly, not Sky, the Premier League, a big bag of money to watch games that are being shown at certain times that don't fit their audience. So then you'd have another problem, because the players would be going, we want all the money out of football, but all of a sudden football doesn't get quite as much money, because the overseas broadcasters are saying a 3 o'clock game can't be broadcast around the world because it doesn't fit in with our timing schedules.
So, Simon, but they can throw in an American football game last minute and we all watch it over here. American football game.
Yeah. What's that got to do with the price?
Well, to do with it is that TV has demanded it and wanted it, and they've gone ahead with it.
But of all the fans who can't watch Ronaldo live at 3 o'clock on Saturday, is fans in England.
I'll give you another argument, right? We sit in this country and pay your grotty mob over, former grotty mob over at Sky, £100 a month to watch Premier League football, yeah? You can watch it in Australia for 10 quid a month. How about that for an injustice?
It's a hell of a commute. But here's the thing, that is as ridiculous as this. Simon, you've got to be able to admit to me for once.
I'm talking about the injustice of pricing, you twerp.
You've got to be able to admit to me for once. This is lunacy. That people here
can't watch the game.
In this country cannot watch it live. Surely there has to be special dispensation.
It's the same lunacy of us in this country. It's our league having to pay 100 quid to watch these teams, and Australians in lockdown can watch it for 10 quid a month. Of course it's lunacy, and things need to be changed to meet the circumstances. But you can't just suddenly say on the back of a fag packet, because Ronaldo's here, we're going to change the fixture list. Because then someone will go, hang on, we don't want to play at 5 o'clock. So when the opposition say, we don't care if Ronaldo's here, we don't want to change our game to 5 o'clock. What then?
Is it keeping people away from football? You know, the 3 o'clock kickoff, if it was to be live on television...
We've seen many changes.
In general terms, no. Now, would it keep people away from football? So there you go.
So the rule is outdated now. It needs to be changed.
Change the rule.
So you've got 20 Premier League chairmen that can sit there at the beginning of the season with the broadcasters and say, does it fit in with your schedule? The broadcasters will go, we've got a problem, you see, because a lot of our money comes from overseas broadcast deals. 4 billion of it out of the 9 billion we get every 3 years that pays you your money is bought about by overseas countries that don't want to see games at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it don't fit their schedule. What about that argument then?
Can I just say, look,
and there's silence.
I pay my fee for
Sorry, I'm letting Tony speak.
Simon, I pay my fee, like many others who watch football in this country, pay my fee.
Yes.
I would like the opportunity, if I could, to watch a particular game.
Yes.
I would like that.
I agree with you. To ask?
I believe that every single
and
game
it's
should
not
be broadcast.
cheap, like you said. It's
Correct.
not cheap. And if I felt I really want to watch this game live, I should have that opportunity
I agree with
already.
You. And the clubs themselves could do their own streaming deals, couldn't they? But unfortunately, they're handcuffed by the Skies of the world. So they can't have it always, can they? They can't have Sky, and the overseas broadcasters pay them billions of pounds, which goes into the pockets of all the players. And
it was all right you watching football when you was in Spain. When you was living in Spain, you could watch it all.
I'm making the same argument about Australia. Isn't it ridiculous in this country,
totally.
commercially?
So why don't we go all out to get a rule change?
Because there's a cause and effect, Jim. You're not listening. If you take out the ramifications of overseas deals being diminished, football will lose money. It can't afford to lose money.
Because of the amounts of money they paid you.
The overseas deals are based upon broadcasting times. And 3 o'clock might not be a broadcast time that appeals to the Chinese that are paying £500 million every 3 years for the overseas rights. Might not appeal to XYZ amount of countries. And all of a sudden, you're taking £1 billion off the table. Then what?
But surely this country's got to come first.
I agree with you.
This is where it's
but
played.
So we all know, right, that the football finances are in a diabolical state, right? And football clubs, before the pandemic, were losing billions, hundreds of millions, and now losing billions, right, over the last 2 years. So now what we're saying is we'll change the 3 o'clock schedule to be able to meet the expectations of individuals in this country, and then we'll take a big slug of money out of the overseas rights not wanting to pay for it. Who's going to pay for that then? Because the players' salaries aren't going to diminish.
We're basically saying, though, Simon, that
the
situation is almost beyond farce. That the only set of people who cannot watch it live at 3 o'clock are the very people in this country where it's happening.
But the only reason we're saying this, right, is because Ronaldo's playing in a 3 o'clock game.
Yes.
Right. So we've not said it before. We've only said it now because the Ronaldo's playing. So
we've had this argument on this show before, Simon.
We have discussed it because the door was open. The Pandora's box was open about the pandemic and games played behind closed doors and fans not being able to see it.
Yeah.
The only reason that we were broadcasting at the 3 o'clock watershed was because fans couldn't go into stadiums. When fans go into stadiums, the regulation that's put in place goes back into place. So you're asking for a rule change on the back of one individual coming in. Now, what could have been done was special dispensation, which is basically Manchester United saying this global superstar, and be careful what you wish for here about how you give individuals this amount of power.
No, but on you go, I'm liking this.
This global superstar is going to be playing in a game at 3 o'clock, which is of no use to the Premier League and all its reputation around the world. One player, by the way.
Right.
We're going to change this game till 5 o'clock in the afternoon to meet the expectations of people that want to see him live in real time.
There you go.
And then what will happen is a broadcaster in butt plug nowhere will say, hang on a second, we didn't pay for that game. We pay for that game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or 5 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, whatever it is. There's a cause and effect on everything, Jim. It isn't just a straightforward down the line.
They'll suddenly rise and say, we're not going to pay for it now.
What did they do then? Your lot took money back from Sky, took money back from the because they couldn't broadcast because there was no fans inside the stadium. Your former lot, right?
Yeah.
And the Chinese turned around and said, hang on, you can't deliver content for games because they've been rescheduled from March to June. We're taking money back. That's what they do.
But there was no football at all in that period of time. They had nothing to broadcast.
But there was also football at that period of time that they were able to broadcast, and there was going to be a congestion of fixtures they could get back and re-advertise, but they didn't want to. They wanted to use the opportunity to find their way around obligations.
I think this is one, Tony, for Judge Jordan, if he could get his wig back on. Oh, you've got it on.
Tony,
what do you think? Come on.
No, I was going to ask Simon on... You said the Premier League doesn't benefit from Ronaldo.
No, how does it benefit? They've done a deal.
Well, that's like saying Lionel Messi didn't benefit the Spanish La Liga. Of course he did. Because you're promoting the league.
Exactly.
So
the promotion of the Premier League is...
Exactly.
In part...
It's enhanced, Simon.
Exactly.
In part, that's true.
How can you not see that?
Hang on. I'll give you an answer to that question. They've done a deal for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Ronaldo wasn't here when they did that deal. Mm-hmm. That deal doesn't get bigger whilst Ronaldo's here. Their deal has been done. They don't get performance-related bonuses for more viewers in XYZ amount of countries. They've sold their TV rights, right? And they've now getting paid for those TV rights for delivering the content. Ronaldo coming in is an added benefit to an already existing framework. Now, if you're saying that keeps the sheen on the Premier League, if you believe emphatically that Ronaldo coming in keeps the Premier League polished for the next broadcast deal in 3 years' time, that might be an argument. But right now, There is no benefit to the Premier League economically because the deals have already been done.
Yeah, well, I know through watching Italian football over the years that they were enhanced when they were getting the best players in the world to come to Italy to play their football, like Spain, and like now the Premier League.
But that's already here. And the domestic rights in this country are tapped out. Sky have reduced the amount of money they're putting into English football. BT have done the same, and the Premier League's had to give 230 games rather than 180 games to get the same deals. So it's run its course. It's at its top
Change
now.
the 3 o'clock blackout. It's out of date.
Agreed.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.